What's up YouTube, I'm just another guy and welcome to my Q&A answers. And all for the next 2 days I'm going to be uploading 2 episodes of the Gibraltar Save every day for the 22nd and the 23rd, so just this upcoming weekend. I'm trying to get back as many videos as I can backlogged. I wanted to do a double upload week, but I thought, you know what, let's do a double upload weekend and we'll try and maybe make that a regular thing, 2 episodes per day at the weekend. If I can, again, it depends on how many videos I have recorded, otherwise I don't want to force myself to suddenly rush things or whatever. But yeah, for now, we'll try and make that maybe a regular thing. We definitely got 2 videos this weekend, so if you maybe miss a video, make sure you check it. You make sure you go on my channel and see the one you potentially could have missed. But anyway, on to the Q&A, questions and answers. So that's exactly what it is. I know I repeated that. So we'll start off now with the one from Diego, which is, in your opinion, who is the best manager in football history? He says he's Sir Alex Ferguson. Now, I guess based upon when I've watched football, and being a Chelsea fan, there is going to be some bias, but I've got to say it's Sir Alex Ferguson based on what he's done. Just because of the achievements he achieved over time. If Mourinho can achieve anywhere near that at Chelsea, I'd probably then start leaning towards him, because they've achieved 2 different things. To me, it's either between Mourinho or Sir Alex Ferguson. They've achieved 2 different things, though. Sir Alex Ferguson has done it at a place for so many years. He's seen different generations of footballers. He's had to constantly adapt to the game as it's now become, a lot more physical. Players are now more fitter than they were a decade, 2 decades ago when 3 decades ago when he probably would have started. Of course, now he's retired, but for that, I'm probably going to say Sir Alex Ferguson. But if Mourinho, as I said, can do it for a while at Chelsea, I may be leaning towards him in the future, because having to do it in different divisions, again, presents its own challenges in its own right, and therefore should be recognised. But if he can do it at Chelsea now through maybe however long he says he wants to be here, then it'll probably be him. But for now, yep, Sir Alex Ferguson. I've got to completely agree with what you were saying there. Okay, so the next question is by Christopher, and it is, if you could listen to one album for the rest of your life, what would it be? Not continuously, of course. Well, with this, I thought a lot, because my music will change depending on every month, pretty much. It seems like every week. One week I'll be listening to a song constantly to the point where I kill it. Then I'll move on to my next song, or move back to an old song I maybe liked before that I haven't listened to in a while. So it constantly changes. But as for album, that's quite a tough one, because certain albums, again, like sometimes I can listen to an album constantly for ages, and then I won't listen to it again for a while. But for now, I'm probably going to have to go with All This Bad Blood by Bastille, just because it's got so many good songs on it, and it can chill me out as well quite a lot. And in the end, music it can do loads of different things, help you escape, help you relax, and I definitely say All This Bad Blood by Bastille helps me relax if I need it, if I need be. But it also has some good songs on there as well, which can pump me up. But yeah, so that's going to be it. All This Bad Blood by Bastille. Cami asks, what made you decide to start YouTube and do Football Manager? I guess there are two different things, because what made me start YouTube is actually a group of YouTubers called The Creatures. Because I actually only found YouTube probably like 2010 or something, because I got stuck on like Fallout New Vegas, and I was looking up, like I'd never heard of a Let's Play or whatever, and I was just typed in on YouTube, help for that, and I saw a Let's Play, and then the first guy I saw was like a guy called SHOKPKC or something like that. Seamus, either way, I think that's his name, a real name, but I don't know. I can't remember his YouTube off the top of my head. It's just loads of letters. There you go. But yeah, he probably inspired me the most to do YouTube. To do Football Manager, it was actually FM Chris. I remember watching his Blackpool stuff, and also at the start of 2012, I think he did like a Roma series, and where it was like screenshots and stuff, and I didn't really have much stuff to really record with in 2012. I had like some small laptop and stuff that wasn't particularly great, but I decided, if I could do some screenshots, but I waited a while, and in the end I just decided, what, let's jump in and just do proper full things. So overall, to do Football Manager, I'd definitely say it was FM Chris, and to start YouTube, I'd probably, like I said, the other guy, or The Creatures, really, because all of them, it just seemed like they had such fun and stuff, and it was really good, and for that reason I really want to do YouTube. Next, Brett asks, if you could eat one meal every day for the rest of your life, what would that meal be? Now, God, that's a tricky one. But I'd probably go with my parents' steak and ale pie with a bit of mash and some broccoli alongside it with homemade gravy. Man, that stuff is so nice. Alright, now I am hungry because I'm recording this and I've currently got food in the oven, so goddamn, that made me hungry. But yeah, I'd probably eat that. I'm not, you know, there's all the fast foods and stuff, but fast food makes me feel like crap after eating it. I'd rather just have a nice home cooked meal that, it's just great. Nuo97 asks, best ever FM save. That's probably got to be Aberystwyth. What I achieved with them in Wales, helping them win the Champions League, was probably one of the best things I've done. I mean, I've taken teams up from Skrill South all the way up to the Premiership and won the Champions League with Billericay and Ebbsfleet for the last FM and the FM before that. But overall, I would say this one, you know, that one with Aberystwyth was just so great. It wasn't the fact that, you know, we won it, because obviously I knew I was going to win it at one point or another, but it was just how quickly we won it. And, you know, really looking at the players we had, we overachieved a lot. And really, we were the underdogs constantly. We never really grew to that height until we won the Champions League. So definitely going to say Aberystwyth there. All right, next one I'm going to do two that's sort of in order, which is Connor Langford, who says, who is your favourite football team? Now that is Chelsea. And next one I'm going to move on to Second Yellow Card, who then asks, if Chelsea for some reason ceased to exist, who would you support? Now, I support Chelsea because my dad supported Chelsea, and I think that's a pretty solid reason. But yeah, he grew up in the Putney area, and he decided he wanted to support Chelsea. Now, if for whatever reason Chelsea didn't exist, I probably would have been a Fulham supporter, because my granddad and my dad's dad was a Fulham supporter. And like I say, my dad grew up in the Putney area, so obviously he had two sort of big teams to choose from. And I imagine in some way you could argue he went for a little bit of glory with Chelsea. I mean, at the time he was growing up, it weren't exactly known for success, but they were a bigger team than Fulham. So yeah, probably if Chelsea didn't exist for some reason, it would probably be Fulham, which may sound strange considering they're rivals, but you know, that's the truth behind it. All right, this guy, I think Dan. I'm not going to try and pronounce it, but I see Dan at the end, so I'm going to say that. It says, where are you from and what is your favourite holiday destination? So I'm from London, England. Well, I guess you could argue outskirts of London, a place called Mitcham, if anyone knows that, which is technically in Surrey, but I say London because it's pretty much London. You know, I walk like 20 minutes and I'm technically in London then, the outskirts of London. But yeah, I'm from there. And what is your favourite holiday destination? I actually haven't been on holiday too much. Being truthfully, I've only been France, Spain, and Iceland. And that was Iceland actually on a school trip. But you know what? I'd probably say my favourite place to go was probably Iceland. Despite the fact I've been, like I say, France and Spain, I find it quite boring to relax or just to sit on a beach. I want to see places. I want to see things that I wouldn't normally see. And for that reason, when I went to Iceland, I saw loads of different things, loads of beautiful sights. That mountain that erupted ages ago, you know, I went when it was snowing as well, so it was very beautiful. I imagine if I went when it wasn't snowing, it'd be even better because it was freezing cold and I took away something from it in a way. But yeah, that was probably my favorite place to have been because I did some crazy stuff like climbing a glacier and things like that. That was probably my favorite place I've ever been on holiday. Mr. Tiny Tom 55 asks, how did you come up with the name Just Another Guy? Now, I'd say this was potluck again, because I'm typically not a creative person. I'm typically someone that comes up with some crappy bland names. It's actually my third attempt for a YouTube channel, but I had a YouTube channel before. My brother started doing stuff on there because I used to just share a computer. Didn't really like that. Started up a different one. Again, the name wasn't particularly good and I could see that. So I ended up starting up at this one. And I decided Just Another Guy. Purely on the fact that for a while on Xbox, I wanted to have the name That Guy. Just so when I played games like Call of Duty, it would be like, that guy killed you. And then when they'd be like, oh man, that guy killed me, be like, what guy? Be like, that guy. And you know, just honest to God, just for some stupid little pun like that, I wanted the Xbox gamer tag. And I thought when I was creating a name, I thought I could call myself That Guy. But I was like, I don't really like that. And then I thought, why not Just Another Guy then? You know, I thought, yeah, that seems pretty good. I was like, let me try that. It was taken. So in the end, I had to go with Just Another Guy HD But that's how I thought I was just another guy, just for some stupid Xbox pun. And then I thought, you know what, let's grow on that idea, and I thought of just another guy. So yeah. Next one. Oh God. The name. Thales Costa rules God, I think. Either way, you say, if you had a choice to take over any club in the world, what would it be and why? Take over any club in the world. Now, I imagine I'll probably be mega rich if that is the question. So, I'd probably say AFC Wimbledon. Pretty local to me. Never actually seen them play. But being a kid, I used to drive past their old stadium, and when I used to go visit my granddad, and to me it just seems like it'd be really good to actually have AFC Wimbledon as a big major club, so that if I had loads and loads of money, if I was Roman Abramovich rich, I'd probably go for AFC Wimbledon and grow them to the heights that they'd never seen before. And then that way they would definitely have the right to say they are Wimbledon. You know, the MK Dons can say what they want, but no, they are the real Wimbledon. And then, you know, hopefully that, you know, I'd try and take them to a point where they could be like, you know what, you can keep our history, MK Dons, because we made our own and it's better than yours. But yeah, that would be my team. I know you probably thought I'd pick Chelsea, but you know, I'd want to try and grow a team if I ever could one day own a club. Daniel Hicks asks, what football manager would you compare yourself to? Now, I don't really compare myself to a manager. I guess what I do, which is pretty long-term saved, there is no real manager out there that I can compare myself to. But if anyone I'd want to compare myself to or want to emulate, it would probably be Jose Mourinho. I think tactically he's on point. He plays mind games which are appropriate, I think, most of the time. He has the right approach to games, which is, people say he parks the bus. I think he knows that walking away from certain games with a point is acceptable and is fine. So he goes there with that mentality, as you know, if we can keep it tight, if we don't concede, at least we know we're gonna walk away with a point, which I think is the right sort of mentality you can have. Plus, he is strict with his players, but then he also knows how to train them, tutor them, things like that. I'd probably say if I wanted to compare myself to anyone, it would be Jose Mourinho. But realistically, there's no one does really what I do. So there's no one I could really compare myself to. Gaffer FM asks, if you could permanently add one feature to FM and take one away from every future game in the series, what would you choose and why? You know what? I'd probably, well, it's something I would want them to add, and in a way they kind of have, but it's something I'd want them to add permanently, and it would be chairmans are very varied. So we can, you know, we'd add more to the chairman's personality. Some of them would be very strict about you working alongside a director of football, and unless you accepted that, you couldn't possibly join your new team. I mean, in the new interview process this season, they do ask you that question, and obviously that comes into consideration when they offer you the job. But I'd like it to be, look, you're a young, you know, 20-year-old manager, as you can be now, and you're not proven. So for you to get this job, we're going to put a director of football in place. You'll get no control over your transfers. We're going to leave that to someone a bit more experienced to you. Will you accept this offer? And then it's up to you, you know. Are you going to accept the restricted control of your team just so you can get a break in management? I think that'd be a really good feature. Plus, again, I'd say more personality to the chairman. I would also add different things to the chairman, as in, can be quite patient, is very, very quick to pull the trigger, is very quick to sack people, rarely splashes the cash. You know, I think chairmen should have personalities on. So when a takeover comes in place, you sort of have an idea of who you're going to be dealing with. So, you know, you could be losing someone who's very tight and stingy to someone that is willing to spend money when they have it, but then is also very quick to pull the trigger if things goes wrong. So, you know, I'd like to add definitely more personalities and more restrictions, or, you know, things like that surrounding the chairman. But yeah, good question. That is a really good question. And the last two here, by Mr. Sot, 24, I think, who asks, I'm gonna do the bottom one first. Would you rather put your dick in a blender or put a baby in the blender? In the blender. I notice it's the blender. There is a blender for a baby. I'm gonna be selfish. Put the baby in there. As long as I don't have to watch the baby die. I don't know, man. That's so wrong. But I can't imagine causing myself that much pain by putting my dick in a blender. I mean, if we can get a really long blender, my dick probably wouldn't touch the blades. So yeah, let's go with that. Put my dick in a blender because it probably wouldn't touch the bottom anyway. With a long, a long old thing. But yeah, that was a bit weird. Anyway. God, I had a coughing fit. That was such a weird question. And the last question, which is probably a bit more serious, is who's your favourite player in one of your FM saves? This would probably be, there we go, Mick Miller from my Billericay save from 2013. When I originally signed him, we were in the Skrill South, going into our second season in the Skrill South, and I signed him as backup, with maybe potentially being a player for us in the future. In the first year, he ended up playing incredibly for me, and ended up playing in every season, including 2 years into the Premier League, which he was still performing really well. And he ended up spending his whole career with me. I think he may have gone out on loan on the last year or something of his career. But yeah, he ended up spending pretty much all his career there, and he ended up coming back being a coach. So I'd probably say Mick Miller was my favourite player. Although Richard Levitt was a good player, I'd probably, like I said, give it to Mick Miller, because Richard Levitt was signed as a beast from the start, who we knew he could be a great potential. Mick Miller was signed with League One potential, ended up being Championship potential, and being a Championship, or apparently a Championship level player in the Premier League. He's still got 7 ratings in his matches. So yeah, Mick Miller definitely all the way. So yeah, so quite some good questions in there. Some weird ones, which we'll definitely probably never touch on again, ever. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this. Massive thank you for 1,500 subs. Really, although right now it should be a massive thank you for 1,700 subs. The growth has been immense. Yeah, but thank you for all the questions. Thank you for subscribing and liking my videos. And let's hope we can continue to grow. Hashtag FM community. Hashtag FM family. Either way, guys, until next time. Peace out.